Hello, fellow healers and curious minds. Today we dive into one of homeopathy's most profound remedies, Causticum. This remedy isn't just about physical symptoms, it's a window into the soul of those burdened by unspoken grief, injustice, and the weight of the world. Let's unravel its essence together. Its essence. Causticum is derived from potassium hydrate through a meticulous alchemical process involving slaked lime and potassium sulfate. It's the remedy for idealists, those whose empathy and moral compass become prisons of their own making. Imagine a nurse absorbing patients' pain, a teacher haunted by systemic failures, or a caregiver trapped in grief. These are Causticum's archetypes. Let's break down its creation. First, the raw materials include slaked lime, which is calcium hydroxide, and potassium sulfate. Next, the distillation process extracts reactive compounds. Finally, through potentization, the remedy undergoes serial dilution via Hahnemann's method to amplify its therapeutic energy. This process mirrors Causticum's core, transforming raw suffering into healing potential. Causticum's patients are emotional sponges. They feel deeply, advocate fiercely, but often suppress their own pain. Key traits include radical empathy, where they are overwhelmed by others' suffering. They may join protests or charities, but eventually burn out. There's also rigidity, which can manifest from sensitivity to paralysis, mentally, emotionally, and physically. And don't forget unspoken grief, chronic sorrow that calcifies into numbness or rebellion. For example, a nurse might develop Bell's palsy after years of absorbing patients' trauma. Her face droops, but her activism intensifies. Causticum bridges her inner collapse with outward resilience. Where does Causticum shine? Neurological disorders like facial paralysis, chorea, and Parkinsonian rigidity. It also helps with trauma such as poor healing post-burns or surgeries like atrophic scars. For emotional wounds, it addresses systemic grief and social justice burnout. In terms of urinary issues, it can help with stress incontinence and urinary retention. And for the skin, it treats warts, eczema, and fissures. Now onto some peculiar symptoms. Paralysis after suppressed eruptions, for instance, zinc ointment-induced facial palsy. There's also the sensation of rawness, like chest pain that feels like an open wound during coughing, and restless legs, with nighttime twitching that gets worse in dry cold. Meet Maria, a teacher who cried over her students' struggles. After suppressing her grief, she developed facial tics and compulsively checked classroom locks. Causticum eased her tics and redirected her activism into sustainable change. This is the remedy's magic, transforming rigidity into purpose. Children, slow walkers, sensitive souls prone to night terrors. Women, postpartum depression, facial numbness, menstrual irregularities. Men, erectile dysfunction linked to financial stress, rebellious work attitudes. Causticum isn't alone. Let's compare Phosphorus Fear's health issues like cancer, anxiety, versus Causticum's fear of injustice. Staphysagria, internalized rage such as submissive behavior versus Causticum's outward rebellion. Natrum myrrh ruminates over slights versus Causticum's societal focus. Key distinction. Causticum's rigidity stems from suppressed empathy, not personal slights. Causticum pairs well with carbo-veg for digestive issues, sepia for emotional withdrawal. Antidotes: use asafoetida or dulcamara if symptoms worsen. Avoid phosphorus, they clash energetically. Causticum is the remedy for those whose hearts ache for the world's wounds. It transforms paralysis into purpose, rigidity into resilience. As healers, let's honor its depth, addressing not just symptoms but the soul's cry for justice. Thank you for joining. Remember, true healing marries compassion with precision. Until next time, stay curious. This video is for educational purposes only and does not replace professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult a qualified healthcare provider before using any homeopathic remedy.